All right. Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, advice. It is all waiting for you over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday. Every Monday, I am here with you on YouTube to help answer your Royal Caribbean cruise questions. And please feel free to type your questions in chat. Starting with the most important question: how many days until your next cruise? Type your cruise countdown in chat. Let's count down together. My countdown is at 5 days, going on the Radiance of the Seas this Saturday from the port of Tampa. Very excited. I have never been on Radiance, been on her sister ships, but never on Radiance herself. So I get to check that off the belt bucket list belts. I don't know. There's some thing that's going on there. I'm not sure. Anyway, glad to have you all here. Happy Monday, everybody. And I'm here to answer your cruise questions. Type your questions in chat. We had a number of super chats before the broadcast began. Thank you guys so much for your generosity. Craig Lindbergh, thank you for the super chat. Craig wrote, for an Oasis Lagoon Cabana on my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, if others in our group stop by to chat outside the 8 people limit but not use the service, is that okay? I believe the answer is yes. I have done this before. We were at CocoCay. Friends of ours had a cabana. We were not, one of the people there. We just stopped on by, and they were totally cool with it. Don't be a problem. Don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in the hood. But other than that, it's totally cool. They're pretty easygoing with that. I think you'll probably be okay. DJ Jones, thank you for the super chat. Hey, great Sage of the Seas, 20 days till Symphony. How does the dining package work at Playmakers? Thank you for everything. So you get a stipend over there. You may use Playmakers once a day per person in the at Playmakers, and you get a stipend to use. It's a set amount of money. So as long as you don't go over that, which is $20, I believe, you're good. So if you spend $25, you would owe $5. Andy Steinberg, thank you for the super chat. 33 days till Symphony. Wife and I are celebrating 10 years. Congratulations. Leaving kids at home. Is that the correct choice? Love all you do, Matt. Keep it up, brother. That is the best choice. As I closed my door because my kids were whining about something. Listen, love our kids, and going with them on vacation is wonderful as well. But it's really nice going without the kids sometimes. So yeah, I say that is the correct choice for sure. Chris Stell, thank you for the super chat. 84 days till India. I eventually want to cruise on each class of ship. If you could recommend only one from each class, what ships would you choose? Ooh. Rhapsody, Brilliance, Mariner, Freedom, Wonder, Odyssey, Icon. You don't have a choice. Icon. Good question. I've never gotten that question before. Lisa T, thank you for the super chat. 28 days till our first cruise on Alert. Any word on up and away? It's been already been paid for. No word if it's being canceled for us so far. I was at Perfect Day at CocoCay yesterday. There's nothing there. There's no balloon at all. So I don't have any update. Other than that, it is still down for refurbishment as of yesterday. That could have changed today for all I know. But as of yesterday, that was not the case. Let's see here. Our next question, Steve McCord. What ship for a first timer? All my wife ever wanted to go was the beach, but was convinced her to try a 5-night cruise. I wasn't sure if max out was the way to go with everything else downhill. I think max out is probably a typo there, or autocorrect. I always tell people this: 7-night cruise on an Oasis or Quantum or Icon class cruise ship is the way to go for a first timer. 7 nights, Wonder of the Seas, Odyssey of the Seas, Icon of the Seas, all great choices. They just offer everything in the latest and greatest. And as a new cruiser, you're not sure what to expect. So, but 7 nights I think is important. That way you get a good mix of sea days and port days. Next question is from, I see all of our good friends in the chat. Welcome, guys. Don and Judy. Sharon Stockman is here. Jessica Devoto. Pascal is here. Even Tony Diaz made it in. Wow, what a day. It's great. Welcome, everybody. Glad to have you all here as we answer your cruise questions. Don't forget, type your questions in chat. We're going to answer as many as I possibly can. John Dittmer says, Matt, when do you think the Crown and Anchor and Celebrity Rewards program will be formally merged? I think it's still probably a couple of years away. I don't have any, that's just a gut feeling, I guess. But I don't know that it's around the corner necessarily. But again, just a gut feeling. Can we take power boards and surge protectors on board? No, you may not. They'll confiscate them. Can you carry a USB fan on board? Yes, that is totally fine. Let's see here. Life in is D bubbles. Just make sure peer pressure has gotten to you and the printer is still on the floor. The printer is still on the floor where it will be forever. Forever. We got some super chats already in here. Jessica Devoto, thank you for the super chat. Did I miss one here? Yeah, wait a minute. Hold on a second. All right, we'll answer Jessica's. Jessica, thank you for the super chat. It looks like you can't go on the helipad on Harmony of the Seas. Correct. You cannot go on the helipad on any Oasis class ship. Where's the best place for sailaway, sunset, stargazing? Ideal, like the perfect spot would be the bridge wings off the Solarium. Otherwise, when on an Oasis class ship, there isn't a great spot. I would probably go to just the upper pool deck, the mast bar, one of those places, just kind of hang out there. I think I missed. Oh no, I'm good on that. I did miss though. Tony Diaz. Tony, thank you for re-upping or becoming a Royal Caribbean Blog Club member. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Okay, now I know where I am in the chat. Bryce, thank you for all the cruise compasses on your website. Thanks to the community for these. How do you download the PDF documents so I can send them? Well, of course, you can just send them the URL, the link to the page, and that works too. But if you really need the PDF download, just email me, Bryce, the name, just copy and paste the title, and send it to me and ask to have it downloadable, and I can enable it. Chelsea, pretty sure I saw you on Allure on Saturday. I was on Allure on Saturday. I wish you had said hello. I got to meet a couple nice people on board the ship. Always looking to meet some folks on board. So, but I hope you had a nice time on board. Barbara Hawkins, thank you for the super chat. 6 and 27 days till Harmony, 68 till Celebrity Ascent, and 82 till Icon Inaugural. Nice. That's great. Barbara, thank you for your generosity. Jade, if we have specialty dining, is it all you can eat in restaurants like the main dining room? It depends on the restaurant. Some restaurants, yes, some no. Like Chops or Giovanni's, yes, but Izumi and Playmakers, no. So it depends on the restaurant. Let's see here. I'm going to answer Teresa's question here. Cruising on Anthem of the Seas in April for my birthday. Unfortunately, family can't get off, so traveling alone. Was thinking of Wonderland for my birthday dinner, or do you have other ideas? Anthem. If you've never done it, Wonderland, sure, go for it. It wouldn't be my first choice necessarily, but what would be my first choice? Great question. There is the nice thing about Izumi, if you're into sushi, they have a night on Anthem of the Seas. There's a good sushi bar there. Like they have seated tables, but there's also a sushi bar. So as a solo traveler, that can be nice to go to. Other than that, I mean, they're all pretty much kind of more or less the same difference. So I'm not sure that if you're interested in Wonderland, sure, go for it. Especially if you have not been there yourself. Kevin Newman, Kevin, thank you for the super chat. I don't see a message from you, Kevin. I'm looking for it though. Did I miss it? Kevin Newman. Oh, Karen. It's not Kevin. Jeez. Karen, I apologize. Karen, I apologize for calling you Kevin, because that's definitely not your name. Karen's leaving in the morning for 14 days on Serenade of the Seas. Nice. Well, hope you have a great time. I was just on Serenade of the Seas with our Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise, and we had a great time on that ship. It was really, really nice. Best cruise port hotel in Fort Lauderdale. The Marriott Fort Lauderdale Airport. My favorite. What is my biggest must-do on Symphony of the Seas? Definitely see Mamma Mia. Sorry, Hairspray, the Broadway musical. Definitely that's the thing to do there. Hey, Melanie's here. It's good to see you back, Melanie. What do you recommend ordering at Mason Jar for brunch? Everything. I mean, the nice thing is because it's just a cover charge. Just try a bunch of things. I mean, a lot of people like the pimento cheese. I didn't like it, Melanie, but maybe you will. That's just an appetizer. The red velvet pancakes were really good. I like that quite a bit. The Cinnabon looks better than it tastes. I thought it was a little dry for my taste, but maybe they something a little bit better coming up for maybe they changed it or you'll get a better batch. But the red velvet pancakes were really really nice. Terry wants to know, is celebrity so much better? Please let us know. I'm going there Thanksgiving, Terry. I will have a full breakdown of what it's like on there. So yeah. Douglas, first time watching a live. Can you royal up a royal up? I don't think so. I never tried though. I've never tried. I don't know. Chat. Can you get a royal up, win it, and then royal up again? Well, Royal Caribbean. I don't know why they wouldn't let you do it, but I don't know if the system is that sophisticated for it. Michelle Prose is here. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Anthony wants to know, where is the best place to watch Super Bowl on Grandeur of the Seas? In the Royal Theater. They'll show it on the pool deck. It can be a little chilly depending on where your ship is. But the Royal Theater is great. They have like little snacks and everything. It's a nice setup. Dave, thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate you. Dave, I don't know if there's a message. There's got to be a message. Dave, there it is. Super chat, just saying thanks for all that you do. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you, Dave. Hope all is well with you and the family. Next question. Big Dog John. Tipping wait staff in the main dining room. My wife and I are my time dining, so not the same staff every day. Any suggestions on tips? Actually, you are covered with the automatic gratuity. The whether you prepay it or it's daily, that covers the main my time dining. So that is total, like, the automatic gratuity is totally satisfactory. Like, don't feel like you're underdoing anything there. That's totally fine. So and if you're getting different staff every night, I might tip them, if one of them really stands out. But you should feel good about that automatic gratuity. So, solo cruise advice: do it. It's a very fun experience, different, fun, and liberating. Next question. Lots of great questions in the chat, guys. Teddy Nance, Teddy, thank you for the super chat. Hey Matt, love your channel. Excited for Wonder of the Seas Thanksgiving weekend. Can you lay out the pros and cons of terminal parking versus third-party parking? I have a strong opinion on this, Teddy. I think it's worth it to park at the cruise terminal every single time. Why? Well, offsite parking can be cheaper. That's the number one best reason to park offsite. It will save you money. The reason why the reason why I'm against it, first of all, you won't save yourself that much money. It's not like it's like insanely cheaper. Usually the pricing is competitive, but not like, bottom rate. Number two, you're going to be reliant on a shuttle service to get you from the offsite parking to the terminal and then back again. Now, depending on the operation, there's two problems with that. One, how often do they run the shuttle? Two, how busy are they? I hate waiting around, and that seems like unnecessary waiting for it. Number three, parking at the cruise terminal, while it does cost more money, is insanely more convenient. You just walk off the cruise ship, through the terminal, into the garage, on your way. Really, really easy. I think the convenience factor is the most important reason why it's so worth it. Because when you're like on embarkation day, I mean, you're excited and but you have a little more patience. When it's the morning of the cruise, your cruise is over, you're tired, you just want to get on the road and get going. And the last thing you want to do is sit around and wait for a shuttle back to the offsite parking. So those are the reasons. Those are the pros and cons, in my opinion. Now, again, I'm painting with a wide brush for the offsite parking in general, but I just don't think it's worth it. I think you're just better off parking at the terminal. But that's just me. I personally value time over money. Like, I'm willing to pay more for a faster experience, personally. But that's just me. Tukes checking in from the Wonder of the Seas. Nice, dude. I am jealous. I'll be on Wonder in March. Hope you're having a great time. What are my thoughts on Liberty? I went on Liberty in January. It's a fun ship. Saturday Night Fever, Tidal Wave Water Slide. It's a Freedom class ship. It's great. Next question is from Teddy Nance again. Teddy, thank you for. Did I miss this? Double super chats from Teddy Nance. Teddy, thank you. Regarding Perfect Day CocoCay, what's the best beach place to go to for a chill day with minimum foot traffic? Minimum foot traffic is not. I don't know how realistic that is. I don't want to make it seem like anything I'm about to tell you is truly be minimal. The only one that has the beach with the most minimal foot traffic is by far the Cocoa Beach Club, because the Cocoa Beach Club has a very restrictive a number of people that can go there. So by definition, that is the answer. That being said, you don't need to pay $300 or $200 a person to do that. I think you're overpaying for that, quite frankly. There are other benefits of the Cocoa Beach Club besides that, but to answer your question as directly as I can, the number one answer would be Cocoa Beach Club. Beyond that, in South Beach, if you continue walking down South Beach, it gets progressively less busy. Chill Island, by its name, is designed to be very chill and relaxing, but it does get busy over there. I don't know that it's really, if you're looking for minimum foot traffic, that's not necessarily the beach for that. It's not crowded, but it's not dead either, if that makes sense. So I don't know how helpful that was, Teddy, but I'm hopeful that somewhere in the middle there, you'll find, actually, as I'm thinking about it, Harbor Beach might actually be the least busy free beach. Harbor Beach is it's that cove when you first get to CocoCay. It's right next to Captain Jack's. There's that big fountain going out of it, but it doesn't get very busy because it's a very quiet beach. There's no entertainment. There is ocean water, but there's no real waves or a sandbar. I don't know. It just doesn't get as popular, but maybe that might be my choice for a free one. Cassie D, thank you for the super chat. Brilliance of the Seas is coming to New Orleans Port 2024. What are your thoughts on the ship? Any tips for bringing kids? I love Brilliance. When you ask me a question like this, Cassie, here's the thing. It really doesn't matter what I think about it. What matters is, what are you looking for in a cruise ship? What features do you want? Because, Brilliance doesn't have like water slides or a full Broadway show or a ton of specialty restaurants, but it still has a great classic cruising experience. I often say, actually, and you heard me talk about it a little earlier, if you hear at the very, very beginning, it's my favorite small ship in the fleet. It's my favorite Radiance class ship. I like it a lot. But don't just say, well, Matt said it was good, thus I should book it. It's more important to understand what it does and does not offer. And for tips for bringing kids, again, understand what it has. Adventure Ocean, it has a rock wall, it has activities for the kids on board, but compared to, say, Wonder of the Seas, it's night and day difference in terms of how much stuff there is, how much variety of activities there are for kids on a ship like Brilliance compared to Wonder. So just want to make sure that's very, very clear. Jessica Devoto, thank you for the super chat again. 2 questions. Are smoothies at the Vitality Spa included with the refreshment package? Yes, if they don't include protein powder. Is the Solarium Bistro included on Harmony of the Seas? Yeah, Solarium Bistro is free. You don't need a dining package, but yeah, it's complimentary. JMert58, thank you for the super chat. Sailing to Labadee, Aruba, and Curacao. Thanksgiving week. What can we expect weather-wise? JMert, when it comes to the Caribbean, there's no telling because the weather could. It's like if I said, "Hey, I'm coming to your house in November. What can I expect?" And you can say, "Well, last Thanksgiving it was just sunny. The Thanksgiving before that was cold. Before that it snowed. Then it was rainy. Like, it can vary, right? November is still technically hurricane season, although there's a by that point in the season, you're at the very tail end. It's unlikely that you're going to have a hurricane. It could happen. I think more than likely you're going to have sunny skies, maybe a couple of clouds rolling through, maybe a passing shower, but it's going to be warm. You're in the Southern Caribbean. It's going to be hot. It's going to be a fair amount of humidity as well, but it should be very conducive for outdoor weather, considering that it's the very start of winter in the Caribbean, and winter in the Caribbean just means that it goes from super duper sweaty hot to just super duper hot. Worth is, hey Matt, saw you at Nassau Sunday. Love the channel. I didn't get off the ship in Nassau, but if you saw me on board the ship, awesome. I wish you had said hello though, unless you did say hello, and then this is a very odd conversation. But otherwise, thank you, Worth is. A Rogue 72, I need to get a glass of water. 1 second. Thank you for the super chat. I'd like to travel to Royal Caribbean, but only Quantum and Iridium class ships sail to Australia. How are they with accessibility in terms of cabin choices? We only use balcony and getting around the ship. You want Quantum class. All the Royal Caribbean cruise ships are very good for accessibility from what I've heard from people who have mobility issues. Obviously, I don't, so I can't give you explicit firsthand, like, yes, there'll be no problems at all. But I can tell you that a number of folks have told me that in general, Royal is really good with accessibility, but the newer ships are definitely better, and you're going to find more accessible cabins on a Quantum class ship than a Radiance class. So do a Quantum class ship would be my recommendation. Bill Doyle. We have a guaranteed balcony on Oasis in February. If we don't like the cabin we get assigned, can we pay the extra to get one we like? Yes, if there's still a cabin left to book. Keep that in mind. Ronnie Bickers, thank you for the super chat. 18 days to Liberty. Does the soda package include drinks at Johnny Rockets? It does include sodas at Johnny Rockets, yes. Not milkshakes or things like that, because you only have the soda package. Brian Kelly, thank you for the super chat. We're planning to take Brightline from Orlando to Miami for the inaugural icon selling. Have you done the Brightline yet? Yes, I've done it 3 times now, but I've only done it with myself, not with my family. But, Brian, I'm going there for Thanksgiving with my family, with like checked luggage, doing the whole shebang. So I'll have a full review of that when I get back. But I can tell you, having done Brightline 3 times now, back and forth, Orlando to Miami, it is super easy, super great. I'm a big fan of it. It's not cheap, but it's way better than driving, in my opinion. And I've done premium every time, Brian, and it's worked out really, really well. I've been very happy with it every single time. And just one quick thing, Brian. You know, why would you do Brightline? Essentially, you don't want to drive, but flying is like you're not interested in flying because either the ordeals involved with it, the expense, whatever. You just really don't want, and you know, obviously, don't have to worry about weather or anything like that. It's a nice, convenient option. Teresa Harrison, Teresa, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate you. Teresa says Norwegian is offering solo traveler cabins and pricing. Do you think Royal Caribbean will start offering that as well? No. Royal Caribbean they haven't said it publicly, but they've hinted and alluded to the fact that they basically tried, limited solo cruising stuff offerings, but it's not in their wheelhouse. It's not in their DNA. It's not in their it's just not, it does not seem to be a market that Royal Caribbean seems to want to delve into. Now listen, Norwegian's got theirs. I mean, every cruise line has their approach. Norwegian has definitely done a lot more with solo, but no, Teresa, and look at the proof is in the pudding. I mean, there's no solo cabins on Icon of the Seas. That's not a coincidence or an overlook. That's intentional. So, just saying. The Teresa McShane. Teresa, thank you for the super chat. I'm giving Tony a reprieve from harassment on Icon Inaugural tonight, even if prices have come down. Wow, Tony. I hope you're doing victory laps around the living room tonight. Or in your case, around the lazy boy right there. That's man, big day right there. MJ checking in. Hello, MJ. Welcome. Yoink. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. Yoink says, just disembarked Anthem of the Seas. Port Canaveral and CocoCay was canceled. Went to Freeport instead. Thank you. Still had an amazing time. And I'm glad you had a great time, Yoink. I mean, listen, itineraries change all the time, but I'm so glad to hear that you were still able to make the best of it. I know Freeport's not like anyone's favorite port of call to go to, but really the CocoCay being canceled is definitely the womp womp. That really does stink. Port Canaveral, whatever. But yeah. Don says the only reprieve Tony gets is booking Icon. Yep, stick to your guns right there. Absolutely. Let me get a drink of water and answer our next question for us. Hey, Seth. On cruise search engines, I noticed last minute cruises often don't list prices. You have to call them. Is this to avoid letting others know what the price is plummeted, or is it bait and switch? It's not bait and switch, but it's marketing, in my opinion. It's again, I don't want to make it bait and switch seems to indicate that it's not really a deal. Maybe it is, but here's the problem. There's two reasons why they do this, in my opinion. Number one, cruising is a very subjective price. It's not like booking a hotel room because, Seth, as you know, the price will vary. Do you want gratuities included? Do you want, are there two people in the cabin or three or four? Are you booking refundable or non refundable? That all factors into it, and which is why I don't think they advertise price. But number two, they also want to get you in the door. They want you to call in and be a live customer, not only for the first reason I mentioned, but also because it's just the way that this kind of thing works. It's why I don't use the search sites that are out there to search for a cruise. I will go to Royal Caribbean's website and do mock bookings and price things out there. But when I'm ready to book, or I think I'm ready to book, I contact my travel agent for that instead. It's just there's a lot of I don't want to. It's not so much that there's shady practices as they're just not like again when they say call in, it's like well, I understand why. The part of it is it's not quite as clear or as straightforward. If you see the price is $4.99, right, and you call in and they're like, well, it's $4.99 if you do X, Y, and Z. So it's just easier if you call in, but they also want to get you in the door. So I think that's part of it, quite frankly. Next question is from Mark. Mark has a good question for us. Sailing on December 2nd Symphony. I'm paid, ready to go. If they price drop, can I get a refund now? No. You are past final payment, so that is not an option for you. I really don't think it's going to happen, Mark. Cruising is so popular. Bookings are so far up, and you're on Symphony of the Seas in December? Probably not. Probably not. Becky, which ships go to Japan? That would be Spectrum of the Seas, primarily. So, yeah, Spectrum of the Seas. Hey, Valerie, welcome. Did icon prices come down? They did, in fact. Yeah, I guess that didn't make the clickbait videos that are out there. So when, at least for the inaugural sailings, what we're talking about. So basically what happened was a lot of people booked Icon of the Seas inaugural as on a speculative basis. They got excited, they booked it, and then they went to final payment, came around like last week, and they were like, how much is it? Nope. And they canceled it. And there's a lot more availability now, thus a lot more pricing. Again, as you all know, pricing varies. There's an ebb and a flow to it, but we have seen a bit of a price drop for the inaugural until at least Tony Diaz books it up and takes some more spots right there. MZX, what new megaship will not be so geared towards children? What are Icon are child magnets? I disagree with that idea. I mean, yeah, they're definitely more family focused, but Royal Caribbean has always been family focused. That's been in their DNA for decades now. Royal Caribbean is not Virgin Voyages. Like it's not going to be. This has always been the case. So if your question is, are they going to build a ship for adults? No, absolutely not. They're always going to be a family-friendly cruise line. And the Icon stuff, yeah, there are a lot of family things on there, but there's also a lot of adult things on there. And more importantly, if you are somebody who doesn't want to partake in the family/kiddie stuff, good news. An entire neighborhood Surfside is going to draw so many kids away and back into that area. I think it's going to be a boon for adults, quite frankly. But really, if you're talking about any line that's not geared towards children, I mean, by definition, it's Virgin Voyages because they're the only adults-only cruise line, right? Because the same thing happens on Carnival or Norwegian or Disney for sure, right? I mean, just yeah. It would really be Virgin or maybe a cruise line that's just stereotypically does not attract a lot of kids. Holland America, Princess to some extent, the luxury cruise lines, things like that. Let's see here. Next question is from CJ. Are the Johnny Rockets and milkshakes included in the diamond drinks on Freedom? Yes, they are. You might have to pay the the fee to dine there, but the drinks are included with your diamond drinks. Mike Gunshow, thank you for the super chat. Need a refresher without passports. What ID do I need for my minor kids? Just birth certificates? Closed loop. Yeah. Obviously, kids don't have a driver's license. So if they're minors, a birth certificate, original birth certificate, Mike, gotta be the raised seal on there, no photocopies, would be fine. And next question is from Jessica Devoto again. Thank you, Jessica, for super chat. What is premium lunch dinner at Azumi Hibachi? So there's two menus at Hibachi. There's like the base menu, which has like beef, chicken, and shrimp, I think. And then there's the premium options, which have like combinations there, Jessica. It would be like filet mignon and chicken, or filet mignon and scallops. So it's basically a two-tier, depending on which one you want to choose. Has that additional cost right there. Let's see here. Enraged Bacon, love the name. Thank you for the super chat. What are your thoughts on Brightline and Fort Lauderdale? Talked a little bit about it earlier, Enraged Bacon, but I've taken it 3 times right now. I love it. It's great. I'm taking the family for Thanksgiving to Fort Lauderdale. So we're going to do a whole review of it at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. So look for that after Thanksgiving, which should give you a little bit of time for it. But let me tell you, the spoiler alert, book it. It's so, as somebody who's done the drive from Orlando to South Florida a bazillion times, it stinks, the drive. I hate it, and I hate flying. This is the perfect solution for it. I really, really like it. Thoughts on entertainment coming to Icon 2 show themes? I love that. Again, that's the entertainment has always been one of the primary reasons we love cruising with Royal Caribbean. It's always new stuff, new changes out there. I love what Nick Weir and his team does. So I'm really looking forward to seeing it. And because Icon is so much it's a white paper ship, this is a phrase that gets tossed around a lot when we're talking about Icon. What that means is that Royal basically said, all right, forget everything we know. What should we do with designing this ship? And they certainly brought some, things that already exist. There's a schooner bar on there, right? But it's an opportunity for Royal to really, again, come up with brand new ideas, and that includes the entertainment. So, heck, just from the Aqua Theater, or sorry, the Aqua Dome, the Aqua Theater in the Aqua Dome, I'm really, really excited right there. Hey, Bill, what did you think about your hometown, Boston? It was actually great. I liked it a lot. I walked around. Luckily, I went there 2 days early. The first night, I was able to go to Hanover Street and walk around a little bit. Unfortunately, the second day was all rain. But I went to, I had a little bit of walking in the morning, went over to the TD Center, had a great couple slices of pizza over there. And, it's a nice city, even though, everybody hates the Red Sox. Nonetheless, the city's very nice. I wish I had more time to have done the Freedom Trail or other things, but the weather was kind of meh. But I will say, great coffee, and the most importantly, arguably, the cruise experience, the terminal experience was fantastic. I had heard, Bill, some real nightmare stories about Boston's embarkation process, but it was super easy, no problems. I liked it a lot. Matt, great name. Do you think they will start offering longer than 4 nights on Utopia soon? Soon, no. Eventually, yes. But I think they're very much honed in on this Utopia doing 3 and 4 nighters and Icon doing 7 nighters as a great 1-2 punch to make it very attractive to first time cruisers. Blake, thank you for the super chat, my friend. 2 questions. How do you get your cup of the freestyle machines with the drink package? You just have to go to a bar and let them know you have the drink package, and they'll give you one on the spot. Pre-pandemic, they would deliver it to your cabin. But since then, they haven't. I don't know why. So you just have to go to a bar and be like, hey, I bought the drink package. Can I get a cup? And they'll verify it and give it to you on the spot. Number 2, is the drink package automatically, but on your SeaPass after purchasing? Yes, it is. Absolutely. Thank you for your generosity, Blake. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Next question. Vince Van 96. Going on an adventure this season in April, my first cruise. What do you think the chances are we could get a reprice for final booking, especially for Black Friday? I mean, there's no telling, Vince. This is why I always tell people, book early, do what you already booked the cruise, you're good. In terms of your chances, I mean, I can't tell you, is it 5%? Is it 95%? There's no clue. Traditionally, Royal Caribbean's Black Friday deals are all over the place. Some years they're better than others. I think in general, Royal Caribbean's Black Friday deals are better for pre-cruise purchases from the cruise planner rather than actual cruise fare pricing. I just, in my experience, Royal Caribbean's Black Friday sales tend to be more smoke and mirrors, or just a lot more pizzazz than actual substance. But hey, listen, there have been deals and there could be deals, and it certainly doesn't hurt to check by any means. But I wouldn't expect a price drop for your sailing, and I certainly wouldn't get my hopes up for it, but you never know. Michael Pryor, is there a way to get one adult drink package and avoid buying a second package for my wife who doesn't drink? Yeah. Call Royal Caribbean, tell them what you do, what the situation. They will let you buy the non-alcoholic package for your wife. I think I have another question from Blake here. Blake, thank you again for the super chat. Appreciate you. First time flying or cruising for our honeymoon this weekend. Next week, almost overwhelming. Oh no, no, overwhelming. No, no, no. Number one, Blake. I'm gonna be real with you, okay? First time, I get it, dude. Like, if I was doing my first cruise, I would feel the same way. But I'm gonna tell you that you're watching this video, you've seen other videos, you've read blog posts, you're like, oh my goodness, there's so much happening here. Just a lot of this is noise. A lot of this is just stuff that doesn't necessarily affect you. And we're really talking about like level 28 tips and strategies as opposed to what you're really to be concerned with. So, number one, I think you're going to find the experience much more manageable and approachable than you may think. You've already probably done the most important things. You're going on next weekend. All right. So, your cruise is booked, your flights are booked. Cool. So your logistics are all good. I'm going to assume that you have booked your shore excursions, right? And you should. If you were planning in any port to wing it, I would recommend not doing that, especially as a first timer. So book a tour, either through Royal Caribbean or something on your own, but have a tour booked. Um, have the Royal Caribbean app downloaded on your phone. You may already have done that. Do all the check-in steps. So there's three major components. You scan your CPass card. No, sorry, you scan your passport. You take a selfie. You put a credit card down. Do that for you and your partner. And then I don't know what ship you're going on, but the last thing I would tell you, the last thing you need to do is watch a ship tour of the ship you're going on. So, go to YouTube here, search for the ship you're going on, and find your ship tour. We have a number of them, but not all of the ships here. Anyway, do that, and that's all you need to do, brother. That's all you got to do. Beyond that, don't worry. You're going to find it very easy going. I really, really believe that. So, don't sweat it, my friend. Let's see here. Ruby, what do you think of a Los Angeles Royal Caribbean cruise? Me and my mother were planning one some hours ago, but we aren't sure yet. I've done now 2 cruises out of LA. It's a great place. If you're going to do one, Ruby, do the 7-night cruises, not the 3 and the 4s. 3 and the 4s are just, the itinerary is like, meh. The 7-night itinerary is great, so I'd recommend that. Ralph, how's the port of Tampa? I love it. I'm going actually out of Tampa on Saturday when I cruise on Radiance, and I love Tampa. It's a great, great port. Next question is from Bob. We're on a cruise the end of December to Eastern Caribbean. What weather can we expect? Is usually windy on a cruise ship. It can be. I mean, obviously the ship is moving, the wind is out there. It depends on the weather in general. Bob is unpredictable. I mean, December is part of the dry season in the Caribbean, but I mean, as I use this example all the time. Think about your weather in your place. If someone were to say, hey, Bob, I'm going to your house next December 2024. What weather can I expect? And you'd say, well, it could be rainy, it could be sunny. You never know, right? Same basic idea. But the good news is it's not the traditional wet season, which means that you don't have to worry too much about, being on, like, if it was July, I would say you got to expect, a passing thunderstorm. I don't think you're going to have to worry about that in December. Allison, yes, there can be Black Friday deals for drink packages. Unfortunately, Royal Caribbean doesn't tell us what the deals are ahead of time. And number two, even if they did, because the drink package price is dynamic, which means the price that you pay Allison versus Bob versus Ronnie Bickers is going to be totally different because it varies from ship to ship and sailing to sailing. So there's no way to know if it's going to be a deal. And of course, deal is a relative term, right? So never know. Let's see here. Next question. Brandon Perkins, were you on the Serenade of the Seas Halloween cruise? No. If so, I was there for my first cruise ever. I had so much fun and want to book in. I was on the cruise before that one. So the 7-nighter before that sailing, but I love Serenade. It was a great ship. And if you love Serenade as your first cruise, you're gonna love so many more of the ships that are out there, which is great. Tim Desmond, Tim, thank you for the super chat. Love your show. Nothing booked yet. Do you ever dream of a day when cruising goes back to all-inclusive, old-school midnight buffets? No nickel diamond experience. First of all, it was never. Well, Royal Caribbean was never all-inclusive. This is like a big, major misconception in the cruise industry. Okay, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian have never been all-inclusive. The nickel and diming. This is really interesting because here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to flip the script on you. I'm going to say this. If something's included, you pay for it. It's the reality. I don't care whether or not you want it to be the case. If Wi-Fi, shore excursions, gratuities, what am I forgetting, guys? Especially dining, if they're included and you don't pay anything extra for it, you know what that's called? Silver Sea. Go look at how much Silver Sea costs. Come back to me on that. It is. People call it nickel and diming. This is modular. This is what people actually want. What do you mean? Like that's crazy, Matt. Why would someone want that? Well, remember, not everyone wants a shore excursion, Wi-Fi, a drink package, specialty restaurants, or gratuities included. Now, I want some of those included. I would love if gratuities and Wi-Fi were included because I buy that every single cruise. But not everybody does that. Sharon Stockman may not do that, right? Tony Diaz may do that. The point is that the cruise lines kind of figured out for mass market cruise lines like Royal Caribbean, it's actually better for both the cruise line and the consumer to have it like this. And what I mean by that is for the cruise line, it's good because they can advertise a lower rate. For the consumer, it's good because you are not paying for things you're not using, right? You still have choices there's included drinks versus a drink package. There's shore excursions or doing nothing at all. There is the main dining room or specialty restaurants. I get it that it seems like there's more of those choices, but that's by design and also by demand because again, if they included that, the price is going up. They're not going to say, okay, well, whatever the price is today, you're paying the same exact price, and we're going to include chops and this and that. It was never all inclusive. Now, the midnight buffets, Tim, is something that absolutely was a thing and no longer a thing there. The reason why midnight buffets don't exist anymore is because back in the day, there was only the main dining room and the Windjammer for meals. So there wasn't Johnny Rockets, Playmakers, Sorrentos. And so people there was nothing to eat after a certain hour. So they offered the midnight buffet as an option. But as time has gone on, it's not really needed anymore because there's so much more variety of food. And that's the reason why. Now, you might say, well, certainly some things, I'll change your question slightly, Tim. I'm going to say, how about room service? Room service used to be included. Now that's an extra cost, right? And that's a fair point right there. I doubt it. I'll be honest with you. I just don't. I think the industry changes all the time, which it does. But I think the industry also kind of sees, the marketplace dictates in a large respect what the industry does. And I just think at the end of the day, they try to find that balance of what consumers want, what their bottom line is looking at, and try to find the best thing there. It's probably not the answer. This is all to say, everything I've probably said is not what you wanted to hear, except for maybe the midnight buffet. And by the way, I don't think the midnight buffet is ever coming back. I think maybe as a goof, like once in a blue moon, but I really don't think they'll ever bring that back. But cruising was never all inclusive. It's always had this element of Some things are included. A lot of it is included, right? But not everything. And I really believe that's the that's by design. And let me give you an example. A quick. I know I've spent a lot of time on this, Tim. It's a really good question. I'm glad you asked it. Celebrity cruises. Let me bring this up as the last point on this. Celebrity, if you guys remember a year or two ago, rolled out always included, which included Wi-Fi, gratuities, um, some drinks, and maybe something else. And it was like we're going to include this with our cruise fare. You get it in there, good to go. Well, guess what they did? They altered it, and now gratuities are extra, sort of, just like they are with Royal Caribbean. They took it out of the all-inclusive. Why? Because there were a lot of people who got upset that the gratuities were included and didn't want to have it there. So, yeah, that's a long, 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 long way of me saying, no, I don't think that'll happen. But Tim, I really do appreciate you. It's a good question. I enjoy when we can talk about these kind of things, and certainly great to talk about cruise questions and logistical things. But it's also important to always be good students of the industry to understand where things are going. I think it's lost in a lot of situations where understanding the why of what they do should be important as a consumer to understand what you should or shouldn't, or what you should expect. So. Blake Evans again with a super chat. Thank you, Blake. Matt, you've helped me so much in the past few months. Thank you so much. We're going on Freedom of the Seas. You have a great time, dude. You're having a great sailing. We do have, by the way, Blake, a full ship tour of Freedom. So after this video, watch that ship tour. That's all you got to do after that. Let's see here. What would you do if you owned a cruise line and you could switch? And if you could, which company would you own? Oh, God. Obviously, I guess Royal Caribbean. I don't know. What I never thought about it. I wouldn't want to own a cruise line. I think it's a lot of work. I don't know, man. I really don't. Do I want to own Royal Caribbean? Seems like a lot of work. I wish I had a good answer for you. I really can't think of one. I'll think of one like in an hour from now. Or better yet, Don Goldstein will think of a better answer for me. And then like, yeah, that was my answer. Absolutely. Let's see here. Next question. We got a drink of water here. Zach, when do you think Galveston will get a new vessel for a home port? Galveston's stock is rising in the cruise industry. I remember years ago, it was kind of like they offer cruises from there too, but they always send their worst ships. That's changed a lot. So I don't know exactly when, Zach. That's a great question, but I think your chances are better today than they used to be. I am independent of Royal Caribbean. I have no affiliation with Royal Caribbean. I would hope that somebody who's representing Royal Caribbean would shave and would not be wearing a t-shirt and have not exposed outlets in their wall. So I have no affiliation with Royal Caribbean whatsoever. I am not worthy of being in the same sentence as the great Sharon Stockman. That's a fact right there. Next question. Jessica Devoto again with I don't know, what is that, like your 8th super chat? Thank you, Jessica. Have you ever done Chichen Itza or Chaco Bend? I know you're not wild with Ferry and Cozumel, but how far will walk from the bus to the site? I've not done either, but I believe Jessica has done Choctobin. Let me just double check on that. She did something. Yes, she did. So there's a full review, Jessica, of Choctobin ruins over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Just do this, Jessica. Just type in Google Royal Caribbean blog Choctobin. You will find the review that Jenna wrote. Thank you again for your generosity. Sharon Stockman, thank you for the super chat as always. Matt, I'm guilty. I prepaid gratuities and buy internet every cruise. I still love being able to FaceTime on the ship. Also great for my husband to contact me. Listen, I know I mentioned you when I was in my little rant there, but I'm gonna tell you, I do the same thing. I always prepay gratuities. Always get the internet. We don't always do specialty dining. Like next week when I'm going on Radiance, I don't have a dining package. I might go to one like offhand, but I don't do it. But other cruises, I'll buy the dining package. Like for the Icon of the Seas inaugural, I have the unlimited dining package. Kind of depends. And that is kind of a nice thing that it's like, okay, it's, I have the choice in that matter. Sorry. Wish the ice carvings were different. That was a nice thing, Daryl. I agree with you on that one. Let's see here. Rosary. In my opinion, all the people who work on a cruise deserve any prepaid gratuities that are charged to us. These people are awesome. I agree, Rosemary. Rosary. Boy, you're the second person I butchered their name. Apologies to Karen, not Kevin, and now Rosary. I know that gratuities are a very hot topic. My goodness, so I can tell you the amount of comments and vitriol from last week when Royal Caribbean announced the gratuity change. Listen, if I was in charge of the world or in charge of Royal Caribbean, the first thing I would do is I would include the gratuities as part of the cruise fare and stop this nonsense of it being a gratuity or automatic or whatever. Like it's an extra charge, but it's not. That I do think should be part of the cruise fare, right? I don't think like shore excursions, drink packages, that's fine. The gratuity should be for that exact this right there. These people are awesome. If you've been on a cruise, you know how hard the crew members work. So let's make their gratuity, whatever you want to call it, their wages part of the fare. Be done with it, and then leave gratuities tipping to the academic sense of the word, as if thank you, young lady or young man, for this drink. Here is $1 because thank you for a job well done, or thank you to my room attendant. You did such a great job. I know that gratuities are already included here, but you know what? You deserve a little something extra because you really went out of the way, right? But unfortunately, what and people who live in Europe, especially the UK, Australia, I understand society-wise, it's a whole different concept. So you have to excuse me on this conversation on this one. But for us as Americans, anyway, I feel like I just they work so hard and they do such a good job right there. Let's see here. Next question. Don says, including drinks. Including drinks means that everyone's paying for my wine, and I appreciate it. I love it. I love it. Let's see here. Next question. Ooh, I love this question. I don't know if I've ever gotten this one. Chirping Touch, what's the best Caribbean meal you've eaten in Nassau? And what's the restaurant called? I'll be selling in April. Nassau is not a place that has great food. Like I could tell you and wax poetically about a lot of other ports. You know where my best place I've eaten, honestly and truly, and it's not Bohemian food, but there is a rooftop restaurant on Front Street, that main downtown area when you get into Nassau, called, I think it's Athena Cafe. It's a Greek restaurant. And that was really good food. It's way too pricey because it's in a tourist area, but that was really good food. If I was going, that being said, here's the other, like, I gave you now one tourist spot. I'm going to give you another even worse tourist spot, but it does have better food. Baha Mar. Baha Mar is a beautiful casino, and they have a ton of restaurants there. And I would recommend going to Baha Mar. I know it seems like it's like, oy vey, like you're going to the Bahamas and I'm recommending Greek and like whatever, sushi or whatever, which are neither of which are Bohemian foods. But the one place, if you really want Bohemian food, I'm not dying there. It's just not, fried fish is not my thing, but the fish fry that is located within a reasonable walking distance of the port in Nassau would be the spot for that one. So you asked me my meal, that's why I'm telling you this Greek restaurant in the Baha Mar. But if you're like, well, Matt, I really want Bohemian food, good one, the fish fry. If you Google Nassau fish fry, you'll find it. Hey, Shakita, thank you for the super chat. Thanks for your advice last week. I canceled the Izumi sushi reservation and did hibachi instead. Awesome. Glad to hear you got that taken care of. Thank you for your generosity, of course. Totally unnecessary, but thank you for your support. And I'm glad to hear that we got that all sorted out for you. I ate a Izumi sushi on Allure this past weekend, and my goodness, that food was so good. It was like amazingly good. Good point, Sharon. Thank you for reminding me about Harmony in Galveston. Yeah, you're not. That's a pretty good ship right there, right? A Royal Caribbean rep would also have a Stanford student. This is true. Don says they did the Chokchovan ruins and the walk was not far. Thank you. Ronnie, does anyone know how often MEI checks for repricing? If there's an agent in here, I haven't seen anybody, but I know they're all on a retreat right now. Anyway, I believe it's at least periodically, like when there's a new sale at the very least. But I don't know that exactly what the time period is, quite frankly. In a lot of cases, the agents talk to each other, Ronnie, and so they may, if agent one sees a really good deal, that they'll alert other agents, like, hey, I just saved a bunch of money for my client, and it was for this cruise, and that may trigger them to reprice it as well. But they also have an automated system to reprice automatically. Let's see here. Danny DiMatteo. Danny, thank you. Danny, appreciate your generosity and being here. Carol, do you recommend using a hotel recommended through the cruise line for a one night pre-cruise, or book it yourself? Book it yourself. If you're up for Fort Lauderdale, I'm going to give you my favorite place to go. I'm going there again in on Thanksgiving, so I'm not just telling you it's good. I'm actually going there with my family. The Marriott Fort Lauderdale Airport. Marriott Fort Lauderdale Airport. Great hotel, reasonably priced, good location, right near the port, brand new. I like that quite a bit. Decker, thank you for the super chat. If I'm sailing with a minor and I'm not their parent, what do I need to bring? Do I need to bring more than just their passport? Yes. So you need to bring their passport. Cool, you're good on that. What I would recommend you bring, you don't have to, but you really should, is a letter from their parents saying that they authorize you, as their not guardian or parent, to act on their minor's behalf should there be an emergency, like, they end up in the hospital somewhere, right? Because you're not their parent, you can't give consent, but this letter can do that for you. There's actually, if you just let me find it for you. I believe it's like Royal Caribbean minor consent form. Found it. There's actually a form letter that you just fill out. I'm gonna post it in the chat here, Decker. Doo, doo, doo. Go to that. The link is in the chat there, or just Google Royal Caribbean minor consent form, and you're good to go. Fill that out. Have their parents sign it. That's really all you need. Let's see here. Brian, can you let me get a drink of water here, Brian. Can you explain the changes Royal Caribbean announced the gift cards? Can they be used to make payments on a cruise? Yes. If yes, you have to call Royal Caribbean directly, or your travel agent to use the gift card. Either one. If you have a travel agent, your travel agent do it for you. But the gift cards can be used for everything except for I'm blanking here. You can use it towards pay off the cruise. You can use it as onboard credit. I think the only thing you cannot use it for is like purchases in the cruise planner. But you can definitely use it towards payments on a cruise. It's a lot better. So yeah, work with your travel agent on that one. We have only a couple more minutes, guys. Wow, it's already an hour. Holy smokes! Michael Pryor, thank you for the super chat. Matt is the mail. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate the very kind generosity and very even kinder words. Connie, key review, $99, 4 nights. Wi-Fi was all I used. Early boarding was the same as everyone. I could do a full review, but it's more than 200 characters. I'll never doubt you again. I mean, I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. Anyway, I appreciate the words there, Connie. I mean, listen, yeah. Chris, how does one become a Royal Caribbean blog member? If you're on an iPhone, it's much more difficult. There should be I forgot to put it in the chat. Hold on a second, Chris. I want to give you the link. I got it for you. I forgot to put it in the description, but I'll do that now. Memberships. Give me that link. Copy. Here's the link, Chris. It's coming in the chat right now. You don't have to do it. Please don't feel like this is a necessary thing, but the link is in the chat. I just posted it there, Chris. Check it on out. What's the best ship for a Royal Caribbean ship for a young couple? I mean, there's not really a bad choice, but I'll give you the same answer I give for almost anybody who's looking for their first Royal Caribbean cruise. Wonder of the Seas, Odyssey of the Seas, Icon of the Seas would be my choices for you. Gary, first time going as Diamond. Congratulations, my friend. That is awesome. And our last question is first of all, Kevin, I just want to say thank you. Um, appreciate the very kind words there. I'm sorry, I missed one earlier that I wanted to get to that we thought I didn't have time for it, but I did. Oh, we got a super chat that came in here. Hold on a second. Tyler, thank you for the super chat. 5 days of Symphony of the Seas. Can't wait. Loves. I've not been on Symphony in a long. I don't think I've been on Symphony since like 2018, something like that. I really need to get back on Symphony, but have a great time. Thank you for your generosity with the super chat there, my friend. And here's our last question of the day. We answered it already, but we'll answer it again. Are Johnny Rockets milkshakes included in the Diamond Drinks on Freedom? Yes, but you might have to pay for the cover charge to dine there. But at least your Diamond drink would obviously cover the milkshake there. But I would definitely ask, like, hey, I'm just here for a milkshake. Is that cool? I want to use my Diamond drink. That should be fine. All right, guys. On that note, we're gonna head on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us here. Check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun, advice. Before we go, I do want to say thank you to all of all of our super chatters and club members. Christelle, thank you for Chris. I just saw you became a member. Thank you, Chris. Thank you for your support. Tyler, thank you for the super chat. Shakita, thank you for the super chat. There's Shakita, thank you for joining the Royal Caribbean Blog Club. Thank you, Shakita. Appreciate you. Christelle, thank you for the super chat. Michael Pryor, thank you. Decker, thank you for the super chat. There's Chris again. Thank you again one more time, Chris. Danny DiMatteo, thank you for the super chat. Shakita, thank you. Sharon Stockman, thank you. Jessica Devoto, thank you. Blake Evans, thank you. 1, 2, 3 times, the lady. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you. Enraged Bacon, thank you. Jessica Devoto, thank you. Micah Gunshow, thank you. Yoink, thank you. Teresa McChain, thank you. Teresa Harrison, thank you. Brian Kelly, thank you. Ronnie, thank you. Eric, thank you. Jamert, thank you. Jessica Devoto, thank you again. Cassie D, thank you. Teddy Nance, once, twice, thank you. Dave O, thank you. Karen Newman, not Kevin, Karen, thank you for the super chat. Barbara Hawkins, thank you. Jessica Devoto, thank you. Tony Diaz, thank you for becoming a member. Lisa T, thank you. Christelle again, thank you for the super chat. Andy Steinberg, thank you. DJ Jones, thank you. And Craig Lindberg, thank you also so much. Guys, appreciate all your generosity and support. Thank you for being here. We'll be back again on Monday from Radiance of the Seas. I hope the internet works on Radiance as well as it did on Serenade. We'll be here, hopefully, internet permitting, from Radiance. Until then, guys, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe out there. Do something fun, like book another cruise. And we'll talk again very soon, right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody. How do I end this? Oh, yeah, it's over here.